Hello and welcome. Today I'm doing the Phenomenal Women book tag. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat. If you know what, if you're wondering why I'm giggling, I had watched a video over at Book Blather by Dave and Olive. So, yeah, sorry. This particular tag was created by Marilyn Maya Mendoza to complement her first readathon celebrating 4 years on Booktube and her 74th birthday in August. So that's very cool. There are only 4 prompts to this tag, so it's short and sweet. The first one, who is your favorite phenomenal woman author? Now I picked 2. My first is Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way. I have a number of her other books. I just found a new one the other day during my thrift store shop. I love her writing style. This particular book, The Artist's Way, is divided into 12 weeks. Yes, based on the 12-week program that you may know as AA or NA. And she breaks it down into weekly activities and exercises to help you if you're having a creative block or just going through a difficult period in your life. And for me, this book was instrumental in getting me back on track after my back injury, now over a decade ago. It's why I started doing my Life is Great Because list. When I started that, I had 2 items. I got out of bed, I got dressed. That was it. Now, all these years later, I can easily fill up 2 pages. I focus on gratitude and my blessings and where my life is at. And going through The Artist's Way the first time was instrumental getting to that point. The other woman author is Starhawk. This is her book, The Earth Path. I first read Starhawk when I was completing my degree in psychology and taking an elective, which was a religious studies course. I enjoyed her writing style. I enjoy that she is grounded and she doesn't make things all woo-woo and just the way some people talk about things. I very much admired her. She's always been out in the open about being pagan. She is very nature focused, very much about the environment, involved in various activities. She teaches, and in her book, The Earth Path, she talks about the importance of permaculture, having animals out on farms and going through the fields, how the different plants and everything interact. There's just so much information packed in this. She doesn't make you feel guilty. She isn't preachy. And that's why I very much appreciate her writing style, her information, and this book in particular. Number 2, what book features your favorite phenomenal woman character? Again, I have 2, and they're from 2 different periods in my life. The first is Carrie by Stephen King. I read that when it first came out. I was a teenager, and as someone who got picked on, got called some pretty ignorant names, and let's just say I enjoyed the learning aspect of school. There were other things I did not enjoy. And Carrie was important for me. Not that I had psychokinesis and I wasn't sitting there every night trying to come up with it, but it was just like, yeah, it was nice to see the bullies and the douchebags get their own for a change. So, for me back then, Carrie was instrumental because it was like, yeah, you put up with this crap day in, day out, and it was just nice for a change to see people who don't treat others well finally end up knowing what the shoe's like on the other foot, so to say. Another female character that I enjoyed was Beatrice from Divergent. In that series of stories, there are three of them by Veronica Roth. We see Beatrice at first very quiet, and the faction that she's in isn't about being prideful or always looking at yourself in the mirror. It's helping others and supporting others. When the day comes, Beatrice has to decide whether she's going to stay in the faction with her family or do something different. Beatrice, to the shock of her family, chooses one of the most rowdy factions, and in order to stay, Beatrice has to change drastically. She has to come out of her shell. She has to prove herself physically capable of the demands of the faction that she has chosen to be in. And we really see her coming into her own, developing that confidence, developing her physical strength and abilities, and really standing up for herself. So I enjoyed that series of stories from the perspective of you see this young, quiet individual, and over the course of the three novels, we see how much she's grown and how much she's able to overcome and really come into her own and shine. And I enjoy those kinds of stories as well because it gives the message that maybe you're not where you want to be right now. Maybe you don't have as much confidence as you would like right now, but that doesn't mean you can't develop it or that things are always going to stay like they are right now in the moment. As I just mentioned in my Living the Dream video, which is a remake from 2 years ago, it is shocking as I went through that to see how different my life has become in just those 2 years. And it was already starting to change 2 years ago. So just don't give up on that hope. Keep going and developing the skills and abilities that you need. And I think that's a message that we get from Beatrice in the Divergent series. Number 3, if you were creating a book prize, which book by a phenomenal woman author would you choose? I've already mentioned it. I keep coming back to it. I would definitely pick The Earth Path by Starhawk. She's not preachy. She talks about the importance of living with nature and working together for our mutual benefit. But she's also realistic. She doesn't say, don't use technology, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, she flies around on planes and does different things herself. So her big message is just be mindful about the choices that you make. When you can do something that's of benefit or aid to the earth, then do it. Whether that's growing your own vegetables, things like that. So she lays it out in a very realistic, don't be preachy type of way. And I think that's an important message for all of us. Certainly now in October 2024, when there's so many different things happening with our climate, there's so many different things happening in the world. There's 8 billion of us on the planet. Nature needs people to start paying attention and making great choices so that for those of you who have human children, they have something to inherit and be proud of. Prompt number 4 is to tag some phenomenal women booktubers. I know I've seen already a number of people do this. My one always go to, love you, Janie, is Janie at the Crafting Bookworm. I would love to hear her answers. Kat at Ginger Bibliophile. I don't know if you've done this yet. Ven at Ven's Corner. I don't know if you've done this or been tagged. And Noah at Bookworm. I would love to hear your answers as well. If you're watching this and interested in doing it, then please, I would love to hear your answers. Be sure to tag me so I can go watch your video. And until next time, keep reading and take good care.